Presidency on Sunday said the recent defections of politicians from the People's Democratic Party to the All Progressives Congress were of their free will and not coercion but from President Bola Tinubu or his allies. He denied accusations of a one-party state, insisting that democracy is not under threat or undermined simply because politicians exercise their rights of associations. Nigerians migrating to APC and expressing support for Tinubu are doing so out of their free will based on the belief that the reforms being executed are in the interest of Nigerians and the unborn generation. Tinubu's Special Advisor on Information and Strategy, Mr. Bayo Onanuga, said in a statement on Sunday. The statement is titled, "Democracy Strong and Alive in Nigeria." Onanuga's rebuttal follows last Wednesday's defection of Governor Sheriff Oborevwori of Delta State, his predecessor Ifeanyi Okowa, Deputy Governor Monday Onyeme, Commissioners, Local Government Chairmen, and others. Okowa was the PDP's vice presidential candidate in the 2023 election. The PDP, Labour Party, and NNPP are currently grappling with internal crisis compounded by defections to the APC, which has left their parties in disarray. Some politicians said the crises are being sponsored to weaken the opposition ahead of the 2027, a claim the presidency denies. The opposition cannot blame President Tinubu and the governing APC for their poor organization, indiscipline, and gross incompetence in managing their affairs, Onanuga said on Sunday. He added, while the opposition elements are understandably heartbroken and disillusioned over the failure of their fabled grand coalition to gain traction, we find it disturbing that they resorted to peddling false allegations of the promotion of a one-party state against President Bola Tinubu, who is working very hard to reverse decades of economic mismanagement of our country. Contrary to the false claims in the sponsored propaganda materials in circulation across mainstream and social media, democracy is not under any threat in Nigeria. Accusations that the administration is moving towards authoritarianism is baseless and exaggerated. We must add that no policy, official action, or directive from the presidency seeks to dismantle democracy or weaken opposition or create a one-party state. The presidency said accusations of bribery, blackmail, and the weaponization of state institutions only exist in the idle minds of politicians and their agents who have failed in their assigned duty of opposition. It is certainly not part of President Tinubu's job to organize or strengthen opposition parties. It insisted. Defections to APC not out of coercion.
Defection galore in the Nigerian political space. Former Senate President and the BOT Chairman of PDP, Adolphus Wabra, said, defection is not unusual and is not unexpected in any political setting. It happens everywhere, freedom of speech, association, and or whatnot, exercising your right to free choice. But what Onanuga has stated, I want to just make quick interjections. When he said that it is not in the purview or it's not the duty of the Mr. President to strengthen the opposition and make them viable, I think that is true, because on this temple of truth also, this truth today has resurfaced again, where I have always posited that those in opposition, especially the PDP, they are not telling themselves the truth. Okay. Assuming without considering that if somebody like Nyesom Wike has remained in firm control of PDP, or if there is no divisions in PDP and he stayed put in PDP, you could understand how viable PDP would be. But those people who want to pull down the roof of PDP are doing so for selfish interest, because the likes of Atiku Abubakar knows that he has nothing to offer the PDP. That's why he has his eyes on the coalition. Okay. The coalition is his last bet and best bet. Then when you now talk about the opposition, it's PDP that are shooting themselves in the foot. It is not the presidency nor APC that orchestrated the crisis in PDP. I can tell you that for free. If it's the one happening in Labour Party, I can make some allegations. But PDP started off when Atiku Abubakar, which I have always said here, went behind and purchased his expression of interest form to vie for the primaries of the PDP presidential as a presidential flag bearer in in a collaboration or in collusion with the now ousted PDP chairman, Yocha Ayo, until they come out to tender an unreserved apology to the camp of Nyesom Wike. PDP, or they exit from PDP, PDP will not regain strength. I tell you that for free. That has been my position here, because that's where some media stations and people don't want to talk about that truth. You see, we philosophy students, we read that there is always an action before a reaction. Okay. Something there is cause and the effect. You can't have an effect without a cause. Nyesom Wike only reacted to what he termed, something that is inimical, and something that is unconstitutional in the gentlemanly agreement of PDP. And they also saw during the primaries the fallout that happened when Tambowal stepped down for Atiku. All those things are what is causing the crisis in PDP. Very simple. Then what Bayo Nanoga is saying about those that are defecting. If he's saying that it's not by compulsion or coercion, where did the allegation that Ifeanyi Okowa is being harassed by EFCC?
Yes.
Where is he coming from?
I was to bring that in.
Yes, where is he coming?
You said it's out of question.
So where are those news? Where are they coming from in the first place, if I may ask? So coming to that again, you see that there is no effect without a cause. Okay. So that is what it is. So let them stop telling us all those things. The only thing that is making me to be skeptical about 2027 is this: we don't have a potent electoral act. If the electoral act, if the people we have in the National Assembly will do us a favor, because of the robust opposition, that's why the fact that we have lost most of them to the APC, especially those from the Labour Party that don't know where they stand. They have moved to APC. But with the robust nature of the National Assembly that we had, I'm using the word carefully, we had. Okay. If they had become a robust opposition, move for the tinkering of the Electoral Act, by now Nigerians will say we can go to that field and be sure that what we voted will count. But if we are going to election with this Electoral Act that gave this kind of latitude of space and means of collecting and announcing results to INEC, even when INEC came and told us that it is through electoral means, that to vote immediately to be transmitted to the portal, to the IRF and all this and that, what do we say at the end of the day? They came and denied their own speech. But what do we know? But why Bayo Nanoga will be telling Nigerians this, that the economy is rejuvenating, this one is happening, Tinubu is doing this, is because of the kind of electoral act that we have. Which electoral act you will go and vote, and at the end of the day, the picture in IRF will be capturing people's shoes and sandals.
Now, talking about defection not out of coercion, I was to ask, we have PDP, we have the other parties now, and then how do we substantiate the denial of a one-party state when it seems like most of the politicians are flocking towards the ruling party? Meanwhile, there are other, even though they have crisis, but we know Labour Party could be a platform, PDP could also be a platform someone could go to. I think that was neighboring state or Anambra State towards the cross. Yes, we found out that those parties are still having foothold there. So how do we substantiate the denial of we're not heading towards a one-party state?
My brother, the one-party state issue is sacrosanct. It might not be that we have only APC as one party in the Nigerian political space, but because of the kind of election we turn out here, that if you win an election, you don't even know whether you can win the next election, because all politicians, their interest is to secure their seats. Okay. So our electoral act is weak, it's very porous. You can't even say what will come up. Look at what INEC have just told us. They're going back to incidents from days. The incidence form, where if you don't have PVC, if you have your national ID card, if you are a Nigerian, you just print and write your name and vote. That is how the rig election it has started. And the kind of statements that Bola Tinubu made during the 2023 general elections campaign, you know, grab it, carry it and run. So those things are still, and the person was not in power then. Now that he's in power, what will happen? So we are not, see, any politician that is jittery of the outcome of 2023 general elections, and somebody like Jason Wike is his ally, the ally of Mr. President. Somebody like Tony Okocha, who told us that they stay in offices and write results, is also working for Mr. President. So, Chimezie, my brother, if I ask you, if it were to be you, and you see those persons, those characters there, that is holding power now, that will determine what will happen with INEC formation, you know, leading to 2027, what will be your best bet? Your answer is your guess, and your answer is as good as mine, because there is no, if we cannot rejig this particular electoral act and we are going to 2027, even if you like form all the whole coalition in the world, it cannot oust Bola Tinubu.
All right, thank you.